Well, is that Dave out there? No, Dave's over there. There's Dave. So we're out here hunting in Hillsboro, and got a signal. It sounds good, but I've got some 49s in there, so it's probably a pipe. But if it weren't for a 49 once in a while, it sounds really good. So let's see what it is. Of course, I can't see my screen because of the sun. And my coil's too loose to sit up like I want it to. Alright, so anyways, sorry for that. And, oh crap, man, it blows. Blows. It shows that it's pretty deep. Shows that it's like 9 inches down. And a small target. So if it's a pipe, you know, it might blur out louder, but it's reacting like a coin, but the numbers were a little on the high side. So the school here that we're at is really old. There's a church right next to it that says it was dedicated in like 1907. So I know that, and I know the school here is old, but I don't know how old it is. So, but definitely one of those schools that predates 1930. It's probably more like 1920. So I'm down here now about so I'm down about 6-7 inches, and I'm starting to get some hint of a high tone. So that's 7 inches, a little bit of a high tone right in here. What are we gonna get? Oh my gosh, look at that, guys. Holy crap, you can't see it because your screen's blacker than crap, but it's a half. It's so funny. Dave's gonna be so pissed because I just found my first seeded coin yesterday, and it was a seeded half. What is this gonna be? So it's a Franklin half. Holy crap! I tell you guys, it's got a little tarnish on it. This was coming up sometimes 49s, like 12.49. But otherwise, everything else about it was so good. Woo! Got this on live dig. So it's tarnished. And you just wipe that dirt off, and wow, look at that! Isn't that sweet? 1958. Oh, baby. That's nice. Yeah, I got my first seeded yesterday, and it was a seeded half. But if you're watching this, then you've probably watched that. And if you haven't, go back and watch it. Alright, well, I'm just a few blocks from home, and I started walking over this field, and the owner came out. I didn't know that this was private. I thought the city owned this property, but he said, no, it's in his family, but he said I could meander around through here for a little bit, and he probably said I wasn't going to find anything because this has been a farmland. The original house is right here, the old one, he said, it owned like 10 acres that went back, and he said it's never been built on, but there's always something. I picked up a wheat penny, and I had a really high tone. I mean, this was like a 148. Seriously, 148, and I thought, wow, could it be $1? And what I saw when I flipped this over was that. So I first thought it was a cap, and then when I flipped it over this way, I saw that it was a watch. And So I wonder where the front of the watch is, because it's not here. And I'll have to look for it. But my guess is the house that's behind me is probably 1900-ish. It's got a porcelain face to it. I bet you it's got gold inlaid dots. And I bet you the backside is silver. Give me 1 second. I'm going to give that a little spit shine. Well, it's a locket or a pendant. It opens up. The decoration, it's got a hinge on it. And there's no way a picture would survive or anything in there because of the rain and crud that got in there. But like I said, I think it's got little gold dots at the bottom. On a porcelain face. And I think it says 1890 right on the inside. You can't see it, but it's right on the inside there. It says 1890, I believe. Wow, very cool. Well, my correction, it looks like a 7, but it's actually 1880. There's the name of the company down at the bottom there, but I can't quite read it down at the bottom. I'll clean it up later with a brush. See if I can see what it says down there, because it's got a name, and I'm just curious if it says Sterling or anything, but I'm pretty positive that's Sterling. Very nice find for out here in the farm field. Well, I'm in a really nice park in Portland at one of my hunting buddies, Cody's been having some really good luck in. And I came out here today. I met Tom and Adam. He's a new acquaintance. Just met him today. He just recently got himself an e-trac, and he and I were, I was tired of digging nickels. There's a lot of nickels here, and anyways, he was heading off to his car, and I was heading off to my car. We met up at the bench here and decided that we're going to go over to a school about 7 blocks away. And I told him, I said, this little area right here is just full of bottle caps and twist-offs, and I'd managed to pull a couple dimes, and one I had really high hopes for it over here, but it was a wine cap. And I started to walk off. I was going to carry my detector, and I said, you know what, why waste this valuable time? You know, I got to detect my way out. Man, I am so glad I turned my detector back on, because I got silver sitting there, and I don't know what it is yet. And then it's a bummer, because I was really hoping that you know, I could have had Adam listen to that, because it was a good 1045 in one direction, but then when it turned, it almost completely faded away. But you know, I was down there in the root, so see what it is. And see, yesterday I got a Rosie, Merc, and a Barber. Today this is a Rosie. $1940 something, 48.